So we're all stuck in our homes. It's not news. Ontario declared a state of emergency, which means stay home if you weren't already. But we still have to do taxes. That's what's on my brain anyways, because this is tax season and I'm tax preparer. So it's kind of always on my mind. So I'm bringing to you today how to get your taxes done without leaving your house. Because I know a lot of people they'll actually go and see their tax preparer. And they'll hand them a bunch of documents and there's a meeting, and then the tax preparer takes those documents and does some kind of magic and then comes back, and then you have another meeting and there's stuff to sign and all the things. So how do you do that when social distancing is encouraged? Well, we can do all of it online now, which is really great. We can start with the first meeting. You want to have a consult with the person that might prepare your taxes. You can do a video call or a phone call. I have some clients that would much prefer a video call because you can see the person and you can interact with them in a different way than on the phone. I know I prefer a video call because I like to be able to see people and smile at them and make hand gestures. It's not usually as crazy as that. Actually, it's never as crazy as that. So initial consult, video call, great. Then you decide, okay, great, I want to go ahead with this person. How do you get the paperwork signed? Well, the authorization for the CRA can now be signed digitally as of February, which is great. So we can do that online, and I like to have a shared folder, so something along the lines of Dropbox. I use Microsoft OneDrive, and I just have a shared folder with the person I'm working with, and it's specific to that email address. So if that link were to get out somehow, or you forward the link to somebody else, then it only works with your email address, so it's secure. That way too, we're not emailing confidential information back and forth, because email is maybe not the most secure thing ever. And okay, so now where are we at here? You've decided you're going to work with this person, and you are able to upload the documents that you need. Some tax preparers have an intake questionnaire or form or something like that that they want to ask you the questions from. Probably they want to ask all the questions for. And normally they'll do that in person. But the way that I've done it is I've created a Microsoft Forms form. I don't know what else to call it. And it's a lot like Google Forms. And I just send them a link, and it's the standard questions that I need answered for the most part. And then from there, I'm able to generate a checklist of all the documents that I'm going to need, which is great to have in written form, because then you can go back to it as you're collecting things. And the CRA authorization form allows me to download the information from the CRA that's on file there. So things like T-slips, like a T4 from an employer, or a T5 from investments, or maybe of a T3 or a T, all the letters, really, not letters, numbers, T, all the numbers. Yeah, I can download all that stuff from the CRA straight into the tax return. I also like to get copies from the person that I'm working with, just to make sure that what they have matches what's on the CRA's system. Because if there's a discrepancy there, then we definitely want to have a chat with whoever issued the T-slip and maybe with the CRA and just sort of sort out what's going on. Usually they match. Most of the, like 90% of the time they match, so it's not an issue, but I do want to just double check there. So we get all of the forms together, we can scan all the documents that we need and upload it to the shared drive, and I'm able to download T-slips into the tax return, and we're pretty much ready to go. I can then go ahead and do your taxes, and I always have my clients look over their taxes before I file, because if you have any questions about your taxes, I definitely want to answer those before I file rather than getting those questions after. So I will upload a copy of the tax return to the shared folder, and then give the person whose taxes it is a chance to review it. Now, once that happens and they're like, yep, great, looks good, then there needs to be a signature on a form called a T-183, and it's basically permission for me to file taxes. So the government does not allow digital signatures for this. However, the CRA does allow scanned copies, so I can upload a scanned copy to them, which means I can have the person that I'm working with print out that one form, sign it, and then scan it and re-upload it. So we don't have to see each other in person at all from start to finish. Once I get their signed form and I file their taxes, then sometimes I have a meeting with them to just go over their taxes, and we talk about the coming year and maybe some strategy or whatever's on their mind. That doesn't always happen. It depends on the client, but that meeting can definitely happen by video call or by phone call or whatever works. For that one, I prefer to have a video call, not just so that I can see the person, but also so that we can share a screen and I can show you what I'm looking at on the tax return. And that's how I do taxes, personal taxes, from start to finish with no in-person meeting. I know that that's not necessarily for everyone. I have colleagues that are doing like a drop shipping. It's not shipping because people aren't really shipping anything, but the idea of like you can drop your paperwork off into like a mailbox that they have. I don't generally take paper even when everything is normal, so that's not something that I'm experimenting with, but I do know that that's being used as well. So if you're really requiring to drop off paperwork, then that's a way that you can do it as well. Definitely speak to your tax preparer. I know that we're all thinking about the best way to navigate this new space that we're in, and accountants are generally very good at thinking through problems. So I'm sure that whoever your tax preparer is, they have probably come up with something to get around the meeting piece. If you have questions about your taxes or how you can do completely virtual T1, that's personal taxes, personal tax return, then let's chat. I am happy to do a personal tax consultation with you. I can answer questions that you have about your personal taxes or the process on how to do this all virtually. Yeah, I left my link there, my calendar link in the description, and it's free. It's a free consultation. I'd love to also answer your questions in the comments if you don't want to book a meeting. So leave them there for me, and I'll answer them for you. I hope you're all staying healthy and safe in this very strange time that we find ourselves in, and that we're not going too crazy yet with this self-isolation thing. I'll see you tomorrow.